All right, guys. Well, we are back on the project here, making just a little bit of progress here today. Got this bed off, 4 bolts that we're holding it on, all 4 of them. At least they're grade 8. Got it off the frame here, uncovered this dirty thing, and it's a real nice turnover ball hitch in here. I guess if we go with the flatbed, that won't be needed in here, so that'll probably come off. Might have to hang on to that guy. Wouldn't mind having that on that guy at some point. It's missing the ball though. That's probably about $192. Made in America. So I got the bed off here. Had to unload it first. Got probably going to go ahead and take this bumper off and then start plugging some stuff up here so that I can do some pressure washing. I figure I've got it at this point. There is absolutely no reason not to clean it up while it's easy, aside from the mess it'll make. So I'd like to go ahead and do that. I need to clean up the engine bay anyway. It's all greasy and grimy. So that's kind of the next order of business now that we've got the bed out of the way. So back on it here. It's a beautiful day. I had a little bit of time this afternoon, so I thought I'd try and make a little bit of headway. Chip this thing away little at a time. So I'm back at it. I'm going to get back to work. One more thing here. It's probably good that I'm going over this truck the way that I am, because I'm finding more and more that needs to be done all the time. I got down under it to unbolt the bed, and I realized that it is missing something rather important. There's no fuel switching valve in here, fuel selector valve. So I'll have to put that on. Something else here that I'll have to add to the shopping list. This one doesn't look too terribly bad underneath all this paint. I think that one needs some attention. That probably wouldn't make it very far. So it looks like I'll be doing some spring shackles on this as well. Oh yeah, no, that's a good one. That's primo. That guy was just about up into the bed. In fact, it might just be hooked and hanging there. I believe it is. It's hanging on the end of the bolt. That's all it's holding it on there. So that would have made it about a quarter mile down the road before that guy was on the bottom of the bed. So that's going to have to be done. These shocks are toast. I do have new shocks coming for it. I'll put 4 new shocks on it. I've got new polyurethane bushings for the Dana 60 for the front end coming. Filters. We'll do fluids in this thing and try and do it right so that this guy is ready to roll when we're done. So that's kind of where we're at. I keep finding little things as we go. I'm not even sure how that got on there. That looks like one I cut off the other truck. It probably flew over here and landed when I was working on the other one. But I'm trying to make a list of little things. Yeah, perfect. Looks like body mounts can be added to the list. That's kind of the nature of working with these things. It's kind of like peeling an onion. Layer by stinky layer until all you're left with is tears. So that's where we're at. That's what's going on today. Eating an elephant here, one bite at a time. All right, guys. Well, I spent about an hour running the pressure washer on this thing, and we're making some progress here. First of all, the paint's going to clean up pretty nice, I think. I went over it with the pressure washer and it looks a lot better already. Got most of the grease and grime off of it in here. Not all of it, but without a Hotsy or a steam cleaner or something, it's really kind of hard to get all of it off. So we removed most of it. Looks a lot better here for getting in here and working without ending up looking like a grease monkey. It's cleaning up pretty decent. It's got that big gouge in the fender, but aside from that, body's in pretty good shape. Got the frame cleaned up. It does have some rust on it, but it's not structural yet. I mean, it's got just a little bit of pitting starting, but there's still a lot of meat to this frame, so this is going to be a good truck for somebody. I don't know if I've made it abundantly clear, but I don't intend to keep this truck. This is kind of the last of the ones that I brought home in that big haul about a year ago. This one is just a little too special to just scrap it, so I'm going to put this one together into a nice truck that maybe will go to a young man or woman in high school age range there someplace, or early 20s. Somebody that'd be thrilled to have this and can put it to good use. Somebody can put it to work. So that's kind of what we're going for, is good, reliable work truck status. But yeah, it cleaned up all right. Seems like you just chase yourself in circles spraying dirt around, but did clean up okay. See my earlier point about these things plugging up with rocks, which is kind of ridiculous, but coming along, making some progress. Now I got to go get cleaned up and head to a cross-country meet. All right, well, I'm back on the project here. This thing's had about a half a day to dry out. Looks a lot better in here already. I did notice that this guy's got a 4-bolt steering box in it. That's a positive. Tempted to steal that out of here and keep it for myself, but I don't know that I'll go to the trouble of doing so. So I think kind of the next things here gonna be, let's get this thing jacked up, get the front wheels off the ground, and start tearing that Dana 50 out of it. Get those spring perches out of it and start preparing to get the proper ones welded into place. I may have some repair to do down here too. I'm not sure that's how that's supposed to be, but I've got another frame here that I can compare that against. A couple of them, and we'll see. It doesn't look too bad, so I think it's time to get to work. Let's get to it. I'm going to say this one more time and then I'm going to quit harping on this. This is what it took to make this bolt. And those shackles work on this truck. There were actually washers on either side of the bushing here, bolted down tight inside here, and that's because these shackles are way too deep for this application. So I don't know what to say. Guys, there's enough on YouTube out there. You can figure out how to do this right. I am all for people doing it themselves. DIY. It's in the name of the channel, right? But take some time and educate yourselves. Make sure that you're not creating something that's going to be unsafe. I don't know how this thing ever would have gotten alignment or passed a safety or been safe to use on the road. So I'm done. I'm done harping on that now. We've got the front end loose here. The frame is still all kinds of weird. It's all spread out at the front. I don't know if they stuck a porta power in there or come along it to a tree or what, to try and get the front end of the frame spread apart to do this the wrong way. I'm not sure why they needed to do that, because whatever. So I'm probably going to end up needing to take some measurements off of one of these other trucks, find out what the distance is between those front frame horns. Probably have to loosen up the core support, try to bend that frame back to where it needs to be, because at this point I don't even think you could bolt a bumper to it. And I've got a sneaking notion that once I get those correct spring perches welded in, it's going to be way too far apart for the Dana 60 axle. So it's going to have to be fixed. I may wait and get those perches welded in, take some measurements off of the axle just to make sure that I'm not missing something before I bend those frame rails straight again. But it looks like we may end up having to straighten the frame on this. At any rate, we're about halfway there. I got to get the pivot bolts out, drop all that junk out the bottom, and then take the back spring eyes loose, and we should be able to get that guy out of there. So making progress, little at a time. Alright, well, here we go. That was about an hour and a half's worth of work. Got that pile out and got it cleaned up here a little bit. We'll see what we run into down here. These pivot brackets, somebody in all their wisdom welded them into place. So I guess we'll see how badly those interfere with the Dana 60. The main thing is going to be whether or not they interfere with the track bar mount. Cutting them out of there is going to be kind of a chore up inside the engine cradle like they are. But progress nonetheless. Got this Dana 50 out, ready to go away. Never to see this truck again. As far as I can tell, it should be a decent axle. I think somebody could probably use it, but not an NF350 dually. Thanks for watching.